No. Hey everybody, welcome to Two Dorks One Mic. My name is Kyle.
And I'm James.
Alright. So, do we want to lead with the big news about, well, I think we should talk about Michael Nyquist first, just to kind of say, like, sadly, a great actor has left us. And
yes. Just a bit before we started recording, getting everything arranged, we came across the unfortunate news that the talented Michael Nyquist passed away from lung cancer at the age of 56. And
I fucking love Michael Nyquist.
This is just tragic news because I'm a fan of his work. So I loved him in John Wick.
I loved him in the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Mission Impossible 4, and even one of his more obscure movies, The Girl in the Book.
Yep. Did
absolutely fantastic in it. So it is very, very sad that he is gone. He will.
Thoughts and prayers.
His great villainous performances will be missed.
Yeah. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his 2 kids. So
of course they do.
Yeah, but I just start off with sad news. But I guess in lighter news, Ron Howard is taking over the Han Solo film after Phil and Chris Miller have been fired from the project. If anything, this story just proves do not fuck with Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, how do you feel about Ron Howard taking over? Because I know it broke, but I don't know if we talked about it like offline.
This is a more seasoned filmmaker taking on a very big project. I know when it comes to doing all this new Star Wars stuff, they're trying to get somewhat experienced filmmakers to craft this stuff. So, yeah. But it's so unexpectedly sudden that they want to switch gears. Like, no, we're going to give these guys the boot and get somebody else to do it.
Well, how much of the film is shot? Like, is this, I don't understand how much of it is shot, because if those 2 guys shot most of the movie, they have to give them the directing credit. So are they going to have Ron Howard go back and reshoot stuff? And if so,
I guess this could be kind of similar to the situation with the Joss Helming Justice League, that there could be some.
But Snyder wasn't fired. Snyder shot the movie. Well, and Joss is coming in to do reshoots, and that happens not to the extent of this, but because this is people who've shot I think they were 3 weeks away from wrapping, and that
it's just a creative thing where Howard might go back and make some changes to the existing material while still finishing the rest of what needs to be done. That's just a guess. I'm not going to assume. I'm just going to imagine that he's just going to pick up, just take over and finish get the rest of the work done and go from there.
Yeah, I don't know. That just seems you feel like they would have tried to solve this problem earlier by just being they've shot most of the movie, and this movie's supposed to come out in a year and a half. Are they going to spend time going back and reshooting stuff completely?
I guess we won't really know until filming wraps or they're closer towards release, because I guess there's only so much room for error when they want to release a new film every year.
Right.
When I think about this whole era of Star Wars stuff, I think we are getting a new movie every year. How are they going to pull that off? So it's every time we're brought up with failure, whether that's the Rogue One reshoots or, in this case, directors getting outright fired and replaced.
Yeah.
I get a feeling there's some cracks in the plan.
Right. Well, also it's you know, we have had 4 Star Wars movies that have been made so far in this new era of Star Wars. Half of them have had production problems. You know, like Force Awakens, from what I read, production ran pretty smoothly. Rogue One had to go back and do reshoots because Disney wasn't satisfied. And I think I'm the only person on the planet that didn't really like Rogue One. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really...
I'm in a similar boat, too. Rogue One, to me, was an unnecessary film. I mean, kudos to them finding a way to expand upon a few little details from A New Hope, but...
Well, like, I didn't think it was... I thought the story could have been told... Like, the story, I was like, I could either take or leave this movie. The problem was, I didn't really like any of the lead characters.
That's also one of my biggest problems.
The side characters are more interesting. Like, it felt like this felt like it should have been a limited series run on Netflix.
Possibly.
That's what it felt like. And it was like...
This is what Star Wars Rebels should have been.
Yeah.
I say that jokingly because I haven't seen Rebels yet. I constantly am told I should watch it. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So, I don't know, like, I never thought we needed a Han Solo movie in the first place, so... You know all you need to know about the character from the original trilogy, and Force Awakens. Like,
and if you really have questions, just read the expanded universe. Just because Disney doesn't give a damn about it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist anymore. It still does.
Right.
There are. I mean,
the characters
ages of extra material to answer those questions. We don't need a movie to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, you get the character from you first see him and his name. His name is Han Solo. You watch the first movie. He's like, when they rescue Leia, and he's like, "Look, I ain't in this for you, princess, and I ain't in this for your revolution. I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the money." You get the character. You know what type of character he is. Do we really need a spin-off with him?
Yeah, it's good. We fully understand this character. It's not like we have any dying questions. Like, where does he come from? How did he become who he is? We don't need to know.
Like, as much as I am whatever with the Despicable Me franchise, I liked the Minions movie because the Minions could actually, you could actually do a story with that, and it was something we didn't really know.
Right.
So, for me, I'm like, with Han Solo, I'm like, kind of like, unless this is gonna, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the script is fucking amazing, but,
we only time will tell, which is just my way of saying it's probably not going to be as great as they hype it up to be.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the upcoming Boba Fett spinoff following Han Solo is just not going to be as good. It's like, hey, who wants to hear the story, like the backstory of Boba Fett? We don't need to know. We're talking about a character that has absolutely no dialogue in the original trilogy.
Right.
But yet he's still one of its most iconic characters.
He has 5 lines, sir. He has 5 lines in the original trilogy.
Yeah, you're right. I just say that.
Yeah.
I say that as a general thing that he doesn't really say anything. He became one of the franchise's best, biggest and best characters.
Yeah.
Just why the hell do we need a movie that explains how did he come to be? Here's how he came to be. It's like some asshole killed his dad and he wanted revenge.
Well,
and then followed in his father's footsteps.
Why not just do the Obi-Wan movie that everybody wants?
Hell, Ian McGregor is totally up to come back as Obi-Wan. He's up for it.
Yeah, he was the best. He was one of the best parts of the prequels.
He out of all of the dumb, inconsistent dialogue in the prequels, everything he had to say was at least somewhat more coherent than everybody else.
A little bit, but yeah, doing that. But yeah, sorry, someone's messaging me on my computer, and I don't want the sound of it picked up on the mic. Anyway, do we want to talk about Star Wars more, or do we want to move on to other stuff?
I think anybody, like, hey, you want to talk about Star Wars all day? Sure, why not? Because Star Wars.
I'm fine with talking about Star Wars all day. I just there's other stories we can kind of get to. Because this actually was kind of a pretty busy week for Hollywood.
Yeah,
there is a lot of things to talk about. Like Deadpool 2 is officially kicked off production.
It's in production. It's happening. People, now we can stop oohing and awing over that unofficial teaser because it's happening. Yep. The movie is happening. You can calm down now. Come 2018, we will get our fix of the Merc with a mouth.
Yep.
And then they also released some set photos.
Yep.
Some set photos. I don't know if they were I don't think they were official released. I think they were leaks that show us. Oh, cool! He's up to shenanigans like we expect him to. I'm just looking forward to seeing those first set pics of Cable.
Yep.
And Domino. I want to see how they.
I'm interested to see what they do with Domino.
I'm interested to see how they approach the character.
Oh yeah. I just hope that it's not bogged down with too many characters, and I just don't want them to Spider-Man 3 this.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Spider-Man, and we say Homecoming is already starting to shape up to look like Spider-Man 3, or The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh dear God!
I have a soft spot for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 because there's a good indie romance movie bogged down in a bullshit studio-mandated superhero movie.
Well, when I think of that movie, Red Letter Media made a great metaphor of this, where they had multiple drafts of the script. Somebody was walking it over to their office, or somebody yes. where they were gonna work through it. This person tripped, got the pages everywhere, and then just shuffled all the pages into one giant stack.
Yep. And
that's the screenplay.
Yeah. Well,
it's just a mess of different.
I don't even like those writers who wrote The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Star Trek and all those. I don't even like those people as writers. Yeah, but
I think it's sort of like I think they were like one-hit wonders. Like, oh, you got a good couple things here and there, yeah. But whatever.
Right. Well, and then, speaking of Spider-Man, Homecoming is getting really, really rave reviews, which...
Hooray! Because... Well, not that I had any doubts, but I did have doubts. I was a little like,
I was so worried because I'm like... I was just like, this needs to work. This is the second reboot in fucking 20 years. Just please let it work. Please let it work.
Yeah, this seriously needs to work. And I think another problem is that there was just even for this new reboot, they were doing a lot of ambitious stuff for their first film.
Right.
Like it's they could have easily too big for their britches.
Fucking God, this is not a fucking origin story.
Yeah, that's why I'm also very anxious to see the film, because it's kind of like Dawn of Justice, where it's an established setting, with the exception of Man of Steel. Everything's established. Batman's been doing his stuff for years, and yet fucking opening of the movie, we still have to see the tragic event that made him who he is.
Okay, I say that. Like, we say that, like, oh, man, why would they show that? But come on, if you or I were directing a Batman, like, first movie in, like, a reboot, wouldn't you kind of want to shoot that scene? Don't you kind of, like, in your mind, you're kind of like, I wouldn't
want to, because it's been done so much.
Honestly, you know what I would love for them to do for an opening of a Batman movie?
What?
Do a live-action version of the intro from the animated series.
Yes! So much yes.
That would be...
You could just take a collection of episodes and just rework them into a feature-length film.
Oh, yeah, totally. But,
totally. Do it that... If Warner Brothers, if you feel like doing, like, a live-action reboot, like a new franchise 20 years from now, there's your material. Do that.
Fucking right? Fuck.
They could just do that. But Spider-Man, it's just gonna... I just want them to focus on Peter being Peter and Spider-Man the rest of the time, and then...
Yeah.
Just those struggles. I will settle for maybe, like, 1 or 2 pictures of Uncle Ben, but no flashbacks, no constantly bringing it up. This is the present. It's done. He's got to do superhero stuff.
You heard about...
Let's focus on that.
Did you hear about the continuity retcon with Spider-Man?
You mean the fan theory?
No, the thing that was confirmed by Marvel.
What was it?
That the little kid in Iron Man 2 that Tony saves and says...
Oh, well, that's what I meant. That was a fan theory. That was a fan theory that they retconned into canon.
Right.
And that seem too fucking convenient for you?
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, bullshit.
You are lying.
Yes.
You did not, like, it's a theory, and you're telling us, this was like a secret plan the whole time?
They didn't even plan the Avengers at that point when they shot that.
At this time, it was still every superhero for themselves.
Yep.
None of them coming together. So to tell me, oh, you mean that little kid that tries to be brave in Iron Man 2 was actually a young Peter Parker?
Well, and then I don't understand, like, okay, if that's supposed to be Peter, what the hell is he doing at the expo?
Right?
I don't think that was held at...
He's from Queens. The Stark Expo, I think, wasn't that in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
What business does a young Peter Parker have to be in LA? Like, it's just, at that time, it was just him.
If so, why is he by himself being, approached by a giant, robot? That means Aunt May or Uncle Ben are just terrible.
This is not as clever as they think it is. There's a ton of holes here.
Or just...
His parents were dead. He's a small kid from Queens, being raised by his uncle and aunt. He has no business being in LA during the events of that movie.
Right. Well, also, he's the character... I went back and watched that scene. That kid is standing by himself with no adult near him. So either Aunt May or Uncle Ben were just like, oh man, we gotta get out of here. What about Peter? Fuck Peter. He's 8. He can live by himself. Fuck it.
Yeah, there are just a lot more holes in that theory / official canon than there should be. That's just dumb. That's just lazy. It's like, oh hey, this. Mentioned this
it would have been. If they hadn't confirmed it, it would have been a nice, oh, wouldn't it be kind of cool kind of thing. But now it's like, no, that's officially confirmed. It's like, ugh. But,
well, look at us. We're bringing it up, and we deconstructed the whole thing in less than a few minutes.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
Speaking of things that make no sense, Warner Brothers is reportedly developing a live-action Superman Red Son movie.
I don't know why.
That's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
I will bet money that is just some clickbait bullshit.
It probably is, because let's think about this. The DCEU is one of their biggest priorities right now. How do we take our current big budget franchises and keep them going to the fullest effect? They have no reason to, out of the blue, do, hey, let's make a live action adaptation of a really obscure Superman comic.
Yeah.
Because this is a serious question. How many people out there actually know of Red Son?
That haven't read comics?
Yeah, how many people out there can be like, oh hey, I'm a big fan of Superman. Oh, do you know about Red Son? Have you read the Red Son story arc? In the entire, just one story out of the pantheon of alternate universes and alternate stuff.
And don't get me wrong, Red Son is a good story. No,
it is. It's a nice alternate take on the character.
But it doesn't make sense, because we know Superman landed in Kansas. Unless he's just gonna go and be like, you know what? Russia seems nice this time of year.
it has no business being part of this franchise of films.
Right.
Unless this is going to, and unless this is supposed to allude to evil Superman, but they're already alluding to that in Justice League.
Well, also, just like I would love to see like an animated version of that. I would love to see like an animated.
Sure. Like, take all the comics obscure or common as you want and turn them into animated movies. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But trying to give them the big screen treatment, those days are gone now. You're focusing on a very unified, very forward franchise.
Yeah.
There really is no room for the out of the ordinary obscure stuff right now.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work.
It would not work.
Apparently Power Rangers sequel talks are not dead. They're just talking, which I don't know at this point if we're gonna get a sequel to the Power Rangers movie.
Well, it wasn't a failure, was it?
It wasn't a box office failure. It wasn't, but it wasn't a super mega hit. Critically or financially, from what I understand.
I still think that wouldn't stop Lionsgate from moving forward with something, though.
Right. Because, here's the thing. I actually kind of liked the Power Rangers movie.
I did, too. I went in wanting to completely laugh my ass off and crack jokes the whole time. I was surprisingly entertained by it.
Yeah. It's a nice character piece.
It is. I thought they were just going to be like, oh, we're trying to make a dark, gritty, uncharacterized Power Rangers reboot. And I sat down and watched the film and thought, well, they did a really good job developing the characters, really building up to the origins aspect of Power Rangers. Yeah. Because they could have easily just handed them the suits and said, go do Power Ranger stuff for the rest of the movie. But no, they did a really good job developing the characters and building up to it, made a really good movie. And I say, yeah, make a sequel. Make a franchise out of this. I'll stand by it now.
Yeah. I can legitimately kind of say, like, no, I thought the first Power Rangers was good. I mean, it wasn't great.
I could buy a Power Rangers shirt, wear that with pride, and say, yeah, I like the movie. I want to see more too.
Yep. Do you want to talk about this stupid bullshit about like people being like, "Hey, Matt Reeves, is Ben Affleck still going to play Batman?" Yes, Ben Affleck's still going to play Batman. Like, he's on board for my Batman movie.
No, we got like Ben to shoot like half the footage, but then he had to piece out, so then we just had to use a double to like stand in his place and recreate his likeness. We got this really good actor. That didn't work out, so we had to just completely reshoot the whole thing with a different actor altogether. That all this done. No. Well, Ben is going to be in the boot. He's going to be Batman.
All right. Well, I just kind of want Matt Reeves to be like, yeah, Ben's gonna play Bruce Wayne, but we got this kind of no-name actor to play Batman. This guy named Matt Damon. Probably never heard of him.
We're gonna have two. We're really gonna drive home the idea that Batman and Bruce Wayne are two completely different people.
Fuck.
It's like that Pete Holmes sketch from College Humor.
Yes.
No, Batman and me we're two completely different people.
Yes.
Got his eyeliner and holding the mask at the same
time. Fuck it.
You're not fooling anybody, Bruce. Yeah. But no, we need to stop being paranoid. Like, Ben Affleck is still going to be Batman. If he had no interest in coming back, he wouldn't have done Justice League.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be sticking by the struggling production that is the Batman.
Right. I don't think the production is struggling. I just think that it's just like going through what fucking movies go through. Like, I've been trying to get a Frankenstein movie for the fucking thing made for like fucking 6 months at this point. I started working on it before like this officially became a thing. And I've gone through 3 fucking directors. I've gone through fucking 4 producers, of one of which I am a producer on, so I have to fucking figure that out. But like, shit like that. Like, shit happens with movies. So, like, I'm not looking at this being like, oh, well, okay, all this. So I'm like, it's a standard fucking production.
Yeah, I misspoke. It's not struggling. It's just, this is just what movies go through.
Exactly. And then if any fucking thing happens, professional journalism on the internet is like, oh man, we gotta get that shit and fucking clickbait it because fucking that's what we fucking want.
This process takes time. And even for big budget movies, they have to take their time to get it made the way they want to get it made.
No movie has ever been made in a production that has run fucking so smoothly. You know what I mean?
And even if there are examples that we're not thinking of, I mean, those would
be the exception, not the rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fucking.
Well, I said even then, there's still a chance that those movies had to go through some hurdles to get made.
What I fucking love is that like fucking shit like compare this to another kind of Warner Brothers DC Vertigo property. Fucking V for Vendetta had to recast the actor who played V like 3/4 of the way through their production. Hugo Weaving was not playing V through 3/4 of that movie.
Well, was it him during like the beginning of production, or
no? It was a different actor. I forget who the actor was, but the director constantly had to fight with the actor because the actor's like, "Well, I want to show my face." And
that's kind of an interesting question that I've always thought about in the back of my mind, but never looked into. Like, is Hugo Weaving ever in the costume? Because when I recognize his voice, like, oh my god, it's fucking Hugo Weaving playing a good guy for once. Holy crap! But I always wondered, like, wait, was he actually in the costume, or did they just have him, record dialogue that they edited in?
Well, he's in the costume for like the stuff they shot, but for a lot of it, it's a different actor. Because they had to replace him because the actor wanted to show his face. And the director was like, no. So they had to get rid of that. And
it sounds so very similar to the original Darth Vader actor that got the short end of the stick.
He did. That guy got screwed. David Prowse got screwed.
When there's a documentary dedicated to the unfortunate everything that should have been a big game changer for you, you got screwed pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think he only survives by actually going to cons. Like, I think that's how he makes most of his money now, which sucks.
The industry is a cold mistress, as we both know.
Exactly. Or going to know soon. I could say. I could say, like, where I would say, like, I mean, presently right now, because even though, like, the Frankenstein projects constantly, it's making progress and going along very well, and I'm just fucking happy to say that we're going to be shooting in, like, fucking 2 months, and we've got most of that, and I've told you, I'm talking with you most, like, of the shit that fucking happens, like, on that project, but...
Yeah, there's still although there's just that one unfortunate thing that's still on the back of my mind. Like, why did this have to go wrong? But I'm anticipating the future where that can change.
Totally. It's going to be
differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I would love to say what it is,
but we can't.
But I should not.
But we can't because then it brings up a legal issue.
Oh, that would be great if I just spouted all the details right now. Next thing I'm just like, oh hey, here's a DMCA. We need you to shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah, but fucking
bring it up.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly. I know how sensitive that kind of stuff is.
But anyway, now you got me thinking about that again. Damn.
No, there's the future. In the future, hopefully soon.
Oh, fucking...
Things will be better.
But,
money's there. When the money's there, then we'll finally be able to achieve it.
Yeah, but, okay, but speaking of the Batman, getting back on track, Matt Reeves did give a statement saying it's going to focus more on the detective side of Batman, which I'm all for.
Well, yeah, I want to see more of that because They don't call him the world's greatest detective for nothing.
I want it to be the Riddler. I want the villain to be the Riddler. I want it to be the Riddler.
Just none of that.
Well, because if you're gonna do the detective side of Batman, like, that would be, for me, like, the best way to show it off. Would be the Riddler.
That would be really cool, because, I mean, it's always awesome to see Batman break in people's faces, but I want to see him do detective work. I want to see him investigate a scene, start going over the clues in his head, Sherlock style, and just figure it all out.
That would be...
I would love to see that. We get glimpses of it in previous movies, especially Nolan's trilogy.
Yes.
But we really don't get to see him do it, so it's really good that Matt Reeves is going to focus on that in this upcoming film.
Oh, I can't.
And the Riddler would be a great villain. Just don't make him the Jigsaw killer knockoff that he was in the Arkham franchise, because that's not going to fly with me. I don't need a Riddler that's creating Rube Goldberg-esque machines to prove that he's smarter than Batman.
Well, I don't want a Riddler that builds a fucking 5 goddamn racetracks or whatever fucking many there were in Arkham Knight.
Look, I want him to test Batman on an actual intellectual level. Making him do all this puzzle platforming shit just isn't cutting it. Like, how much time does it take you to arrange these giant Rube Goldberg-esque devices just to test Batman? Is it really worth it? Couldn't you just done what you've done in the past and just come up with a really clever traps and gizmos, and then just let the riddles themselves be what really test Batman? Yeah. Just give me that.
Right. But fucking Wonder Woman has become the officially now the highest grossing live action film directed by a woman, which yay! That's fucking awesome.
This is a big step.
Well, also, I'm just fucking happy that Wonder Woman's still at fucking number 2 on box office.
Really, it is.
It's number 2. It beat Cars 3 in its second weekend. Let me pull up box office here. The box office. Transformers: The Last Night has the lowest opening of the franchise so far, even less than the first one. The first one had $70 million as an opener. Transformers Last Night opened with $44.7 million, and that's not just for the weekend. That's also including, I think, since it opened on a Tuesday. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's $44 million. But... well, that might actually just be for the weekend. I apologize. I think that statement I just said may not be true. But it says $44 million. And then Wonder Woman, in its fourth weekend, is at $25 million. So...
some good numbers.
Those are some good numbers. I mean, it's I think this will be the highest grossing film in the DCEU. I think Wonder Woman will reach the $1 billion mark.
Well, that would be remarkable, because I did have some kind of doubts, like, how long is the winning positive streak for Wonder Woman going to last?
I think...
and I think that it's still going on is really good.
Yeah. I'm so fucking happy that it's still doing well, which is just great. I want to talk more about Transformers 5 and the ramifications of that probably near the end of the episode, just kind of on our opinion pieces, but getting more to news. John Watts is apparently expected to return for the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel, which I'm excited for. I don't know when is that film supposed to be released? Do you know?
I constantly keep forgetting. It's July something.
Okay. Well, because it probably will be... because I don't see it coming out in 2018 or 2019. It's definitely not going to be 2018.
It's July 7th.
Well, no, I'm saying... no, I know when the first one comes out, but do you know when the second one...
the sequel. No idea.
Okay.
I'll look this up.
It'll probably be 2019 or 2020.
Hang on. 2019, July 5th, 2019.
Okay, 2019.
Wait
a minute. Hold on. I want to check something.
I was going to say, talk about pulling the trigger. They really okay, we got to make these movies fucking fast.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to check something here because that
is contradicting.
No, that...
Just...
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Fucking, I want to see... Because the first part of Avengers Infinity War comes out next year, 2018. Part 2 of Infinity War also comes out in 2019, and that's in May.
They just keep on putting all their eggs in one basket.
That's weird. You're going to release... And that's weird to me. How is that going to work? If it's May 2019 for Avengers Infinity War Part 2, and then 2 months later, Spider-Man Homecoming sequel.
We'll just, they're putting all their eggs in one basket. We'll just have to see how far they can get without dropping it.
Exactly. That seems weird. I feel like you should wait till 2020 to do Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Because that's 3 years.
Yeah, it's you don't want to get outshined also.
Yeah.
The biggest...
No, think about it. Infinity War is now going to be competing with Homecoming. They're competing the films against each other.
That's stupid. They're all in the same boat. Why do they need to fight?
Because it's not even it just happens to be the same studio. It's the same franchise. Because I consider MCU one franchise. So... I have to concur, because... I mean, it is all a big universe, even if they're smaller scale media, like the Netflix shows are more canon than the actual fucking TV shows. It's all still one big unit. It's all still one big connection. Yeah, and they're usually pretty good about spacing these out, at least a couple months, at least waiting till one of them is kind of out of theaters. Yeah,
there's a plan. They plan this stuff ahead of time, so it's all well and scheduled.
That is just weird.
It is weird.
That is weird.
It's concerning.
It is concerning. I don't like it.
I don't want to see. I love Spider-Man. I don't want to see him get. I don't want to see him get stumped by Captain America and friends fighting space stuff.
Well, he's also gonna be in that movie supposedly.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's I love Spider-Man. I don't want to see. No, don't bring no harm to my favorite arachnid character.
He's my favorite character with the word spider in his name.
And most people hate spiders.
Yes.
But it's funny. I kind of think it's funny. There are probably a lot of people out there that love Spider-Man but hate spiders for real.
Oh, yeah.
You do realize this is a guy with spider powers. He was bitten by a spider to get these powers. Right. And you're afraid of typically tiny little things that crawl around on the walls.
Yeah.
You should be more afraid of man spider. Now that would be something to be scared of.
Oh God.
Or that time he became man spider and then was rebirthed from said spider as a human again.
The writer was taking.
Who remembers that?
The writer was taking acid.
They were definitely on something when they decided to give Peter radioactive spunk.
I don't want to talk about that story. Fuck that. God.
It's just those times when comic book writers run out of ideas. How can what more interesting thing can we do with Spider-Man? Let's give him 4 more arms, and then let's turn him into a humanoid man spider, and then a bunch of this other dumb shit.
Fucking. Mission
or that time in the Ultimate Comic Books where he had a female clone that was sexually attracted to Peter's best friend, the Human Torch.
That is weird.
Weird stuff. It is very weird stuff, and I'm pretty sure this is like news to a bunch of people. Like,
oh yeah,
wait, that actually happened to Spider-Man?
Yep.
Why am I a fan of this?
I think I actually have that issue. I
don't have them in collections per se. I used to just do a lot of reading in libraries.
Oh yeah.
So I would just read the comics there. And my goodness, the stories I've read from the Ultimate Comic Books, especially.
Yeah.
There's shocker stuff in there.
Yeah.
Not for kids.
Oh, I mean, kids got to learn sometimes. That's a story for kids. When you get a clone of yourself that happens to be opposite sex and it's attracted to your best friend, you got to learn how to handle that situation. That's just everyday shit.
You got to learn how to handle it when your best friend is attracted and what is literally the female equivalent of you.
Exactly.
You gotta learn to be at peace with that.
It's fine. It's 2017.
I still, if only they could actually cross over with the X-Men, and that way you could date Kitty Pryde, because out of all...
I actually liked them together. Out of all
his girlfriends,
Kitty
Pryde was one of my top favorites, because she had superpowers, so she could defend herself and didn't have to be the damsel in distress.
I actually liked them together. I did.
Yeah, I did. They were cute. They were like, she got a thing for Peter when he was with the X-Men that one time, and then they started dating, and then kind of like it removes a big obstacle out of the way. It's like she can defend herself.
Oh.
She's got fucking superpowers. Gwen and Mary Jane don't have superpowers.
I don't know.
So dumb.
I don't know. But
crossover with the X-Men. Let's put Ellen Page in this Homecoming sequel.
Yeah.
Let's let these two date.
Gonna
happen, sadly.
Yeah. I don't have.
No, what they could do is they could recast the character. They could just pull an Age of Ultron where they just use different actors and don't deliberately call them mutants.
Exactly. Boom. There
totally do that. Boom.
Totally do that. We got this.
We got this. So make this shit happen.
I don't have anything else on mine for newsworthy. I don't have anything else newsworthy on mine unless you have something else that you want to talk about news-wise, because I've got a couple of opinion pieces.
Since we're on Spider-Man, the animated movie announced some new castings.
Okay.
From Mahershala Ali and Brian Tyree are joining the movie. They're going to be playing characters in key roles. The biggest bit of news out of this is Prowler's going to be in the movie, because Prowler's one of those more obscure Spider-Man characters,
right?
But one of the good ones.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that they cast his alter ego, which most definitely means he's going to be in the film. We still have no idea who Liev Schreiber's villain is going to be.
Right.
It'll be something cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Miles Morales finally get some love.
Well, totally.
His own solo animated movie with his whatever kind of role he's gonna have in the upcoming video game, all that stuff. I'm excited for all of it. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I'm just.
I would alongside buying a replica of the PS4 Spider-Man costume, I would buy the Miles Morales costume.
Oh yeah.
Just to prepare for this. Just so I can go to the theater opening day to see the movie. Like, hey, check it out! I'm dressed as Miles. I'm such a big fan.
Yep.
Because funny thing is, some of the local theaters around my area, whenever new comic book movies come out, they have some of their employees that they invite cosplayers to come dress up as the characters from those movies to greet people going to see the films.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, that's really cool. On different occasions, I got to take pictures with a guy dressed as Spider-Man. And another guy, and another time I took a picture of the guy dressed as Wolverine. It was they're on my old phone, so I have to find some way to get them off there. But I will have to post those pictures at some point, because I was very happy those days.
Yeah.
The Jurassic World sequel finally has a title.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Yep. Get ready, everybody. Come summer of next year, go see Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom or Fallen Kingdom. So.
I mean, I'm still gonna see it because it's got Jeff Goldblum and Chris Pratt.
Well, I do like the much newer cast that they kind of brought for this generation of viewers. Mm-hmm. Alongside some older favorites like B.D. Wong and now in this film, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, B.D. Wong. I like B.D. Wong.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So I'm just kind of wondering what the movie's gonna be about, though. Fallen Kingdom. The best theory I can come up with is that they're gonna be probably doing something on whatever's left. Like I'm gonna say maybe months, maybe a few years after the events of Jurassic World. They were unable to contain the situation, so they just abandoned it. And then I guess it probably means they're gonna go back to the island and I guess do something there.
There's gonna be a MacGuffin.
Or maybe go to one of the previous islands and try to do something there. It's really up in the air. I honestly
as long as they don't bring the dinosaurs to the human world, I'm fine.
Yeah, as long as we don't have T-Rex stalking through the streets of LA, we aren't gonna have any problems.
Right, not gonna have any problems. Do you have anything else?
Going through the list, lots. I repost a lot every time Bethesda or the official page posts information about the Evil Within. I have to repost it to say I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for this horror, for this survival horror game that I've been wanting for a long time now. We got a new trailer for Atomic Blonde, which was really cool because
it's fucking Atomic Blonde and it looks badass.
It's gonna be the flip side. It's basically gonna be like, what if John Wick start a woman?
Yeah,
and be fucking awesome.
It's got fucking McAvoy. I fucking love McAvoy.
James McAvoy. You can't. I mean, Charlize Theron and James McAvoy. You've already sold me. You already sold me on the picture. Exactly. But I'm just excited because it's like John Wick. It's got the kind of style and color palette.
And it looks more.
Action sequences are staged like John Wick action scenes.
And it looks more. It looks more kind of like stylized, and I like that.
Yeah, I like it because it's different. It's doing its best to be different and good at the same time. So I am very antsy to see the film. I actually saw a post earlier today that they're already calling it like the Chapter 3 of John Wick. Like, no. John Wick is got Chapter 3. Yep. It's going to be its own fucking beast. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. I appreciate people showing this kind of enthusiasm for what could be an exterior action flick that would have been completely outshined by John Wick, but given its release window and given how much of its own style it is.
Well, what I love is that it's in the style of John Wick, but it's not just John Wick with tits.
Yes, it's its own movie, and I adore that.
Do they want this to be a franchise like John Wick?
I don't know yet. I would not be against that idea.
I wouldn't be against that idea either.
If we're talking about bringing new original franchises, like reasonably budgeted big action franchises into the industry, fuck, get it going. That's something that we both wanted to do like right now. But if other people are already trying to do that, then pull the trigger, man. Do it. Do everything in your power to get that stuff off the ground and in those theaters for people to enjoy.
Yep.
But, still leave a bit of the action for us, because we want to do our own stuff.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, yeah.
And a really top steel list, aside from
do we want
information about Avengers Infinity War, more set photos are coming out of there, little
I think we'll get a trailer with Thor Ragnarok.
That's a possibility, like a very early teaser trailer.
I think we'll get a teaser for Thor Ragnarok. Because we're going to get the Black Panther trailer. I think we'll get... I think after Black Panther, I think it's just Infinity War.
I think so. And then Captain Marvel afterwards, after Part 1.
Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right. It's going to be a little bit strange having like this big, giant ensemble cast in one movie, and then go back to like these primary characters leading their own primary stories.
Right.
It's going to be kind of weird. Like, oh, hey, I'm going to go. What are you going to go see? I'm going to go see Captain Marvel. Like, wasn't she already in Infinity War? But yeah, this is her solo movie. And then it's going to be kind of the same, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, what's the Infinity War? It's like, yeah, but it's their new solo movie.
Yeah, it's their new solo
And we're going to finally get to see more of the Wasp. So, yeah, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
It's really the only other news out there is just kind of like behind-the-scenes stuff here and there, droplets of information. I did stumble across that Batman picture that you shared with me earlier, and actually saw another picture.
Yeah.
That finally gives a better look at J.K. Simmons' Jim Gordon. Oh my goodness! I am so happy that he is going to be in those shoes.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to hear an interesting tidbit that kind of made me like more worried for the Dark Tower movie than I kind of already was?
What?
The guy who's writing the script for this also wrote Batman and Robin.
Oh, sweet Christ. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear God. Why?
Why what?
Hey. Talk about just kicking me in the nads unapologetically. Why?
Well, also, I mean, he also wrote some Oscar-winning movie. Like, this guy's also won an Oscar, but he also wrote, I don't know if you've seen it, have you ever seen Winter's Tale?
No.
Oh, dude, that movie's insane. Like, just watch the trailer for Winter's Tale. It is glorious. Also, I want to talk about the fact that Daniel Day-Lewis officially announced his retirement from acting.
Yay! I did know this, and my initial response to that was, finally, we can let some hotshots step in and do some
Fucking,
cool
I
stuff.
love Daniel Day-Lewis, man.
No, I know he is practically like a demigod amongst his acting peers.
Fucking,
We're talking about a living legend here.
Yeah. Fucking, I mean, if he wants to go off and just be on his farm and hang out for a couple, maybe, I don't know if did he say, like, I'm never going to act again, or is it a thing of, like, I'm going to go fuck off for, like, 10, 15 years and come back?
I'm going to treat this like...
Because he did retire before. He did say, like, oh, I'm retiring, and then he did come back.
Well, I'm going to treat this kind of like Hayden Christensen, where he just, took everything he had and basically just kind of walked off the grid, but occasionally comes back into the acting waters every now and again. But his days are mostly just spent with his family, just living peacefully in his own bubble, and I respect that. Yeah. And that's pretty much how I'm gonna treat that. Where it's just gonna be like Daniel Day-Lewis is gonna stay. He's probably not gonna be done for acting for good, but he's gonna step out of it as a primary thing for him.
All right. Well, also,
I respect that. Go ahead.
Also, I mean, fucking, I love him so much. I love Bill the Butcher. Gangs in New York. He was so fucking.
I was on Hulu earlier. I saw, hey, Gangs of New York. I need to see this.
Oh, dude. You need to see Gangs of New York. It is amazing.
Like, no, it's got a great cast. It's just footage. Like, yeah, I gotta watch this. I gotta sit down and watch this.
Dude, fucking, it's so good. It is so fucking good. Like, Leo's okay in the movie, and, like, it's the thing of, like, if he was in any other movie with Scorsese, I'm like, okay, he's kind of intimidating, But you put him next to Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher, he looks like fucking Snow White. Oh, Bill the Butcher. Such a good performance.
Well, this is a great testament to his acting ability.
Oh, yeah.
And why it's seemingly so shocking why he's stepping down, but...
I'm not surprised. He's always kind of given more of a thing as, like, the artsy-fartsy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean...
Well, at least he stood by it honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like, he is kind of that honest, like, guy. This is a guy who, when he played paraplegic, he only moved his left foot and, like, had people carry him. Like, he did not do anything except for that.
Yeah, the guy is very method, and that's not that is not an easy thing to do.
No. He had to go through months of physical therapy after the movie because he just stopped using his other muscles.
It's like Neo from the Matrix.
Yep.
Give him all that acupuncture to get him back into shape.
Yep, fucking.
But I think this is just that this is kind of fitting. He's been in the game a very long time and has really done all you can achieve.
Right.
In that position. I mean, we're in a world. I mean, this is a world where he's achieved a lot, just about everything you can do in the industry.
Right.
So, what else do? Do you just keep going and wait for you to become stale, or do you just walk away? It's kind of like Hugh Jackman's reason for stopping being Wolverine. It's do what you love for a very long time, achieve what you can, and when you're satisfied or you feel you've done enough, you just go out on a really good high note and walk away while you still have on a good note.
Yeah. But,
so I think he's doing that, and I 100% respect that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like at least he's willingly stepping down. So as I jokingly said earlier, so now some other hot shots can make the big leap to take the spotlight for themselves.
Right.
It's kind of like that speech. It kind of reminds me of that speech Troy Baker made at the VGAs about over a year ago, when he basically Nolan North and Troy Baker are like two of the biggest voice actors in the industry. You can't play a video game like every other video game or every major game that you play. Chances are they're in it.
Right.
And I always think when I think about doing voiceover acting in that industry, that bit of the industry, I always think back to a speech. I'm not going to say a quote word for word because it's been a long time, but the gist of it is save up for a really good mic, and then wait for him and Nolan North to die.
Yeah.
Basically, just a joking way of saying that we are in our prime. We are at the top of our game. This is so it's still our spotlight. You got to wait your turn. But I always find that just kind of like a little charm, an antagonizing joke. It's just kind of like.
Right. Okay. We're at 57 minutes. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? Because I can upload this and then, we can do the.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted to talk about Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars! Fucking.
You wanted to save the last bit for Star Wars.
Okay. Fucking. God damn it! Do not fucking ruin my favorite fucking franchise in the goddamn world, Disney. Okay? The Force Awakens, it's a fine movie. I have issues with it, but again, that's just structure. And, some things here and there. You know? Fucking just do not fucking... Look, Phil Miller and Chris Lord have made some incredible movies. I love the 2 Jump Street movies. The fucking Lego movie. Fucking... Let fucking creators be fucking creators at the same time. And it's just, that's really all I had to fucking say, and this, just, don't fuck it up. That's all I really wanted to fucking say.
Well, I mean, you can't help but be paranoid because this is a big company that is quite literally fucking with everybody's childhood. They're playing a dangerous game. They're playing with some serious fire here, and if they mess up, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be angry with them. The only people that are going to be able to forgive Disney are children with their innocence intact from watching all those Pixar movies. Yeah. Those are going to be the only people they got left. Because they're like, oh, we fucked up Star Wars, we're probably going to fuck up Marvel. What do we have left? We still have the animated Disney movies that kids really love and that they drive their parents to go see. Well, I guess that's what we're going to be stuck doing for the rest of our lives. Yeah. And I would rather live in a world where everybody could get their respective rights back so we didn't have to do it in a very specific and family-oriented fashion. Yeah. I'd rather have comic books be upfront and straight with me I'd rather have all this stuff be just straight up and straight and be what the fans really want and not this corporate interpretation of what they think we want.
Right.
It's a really confusing thing to talk about, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we're also coming at it from a creative standpoint, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can personally say if I were handling any kind of material from those universes, I would be looking through the eyes of a fan and thinking about what the fans want instead of thinking about what do I want. What do I, as a creator, want to do? Because when adapting material, I feel it's an obligation to show a lot of respect for the material, for the original source material, and then reflect what people want to get out of that.
Right.
Versus going all over the place.
And also tell your own story.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Do your own spin on it, put your own style on it, within reason, but don't bastardize what people have come to love and respect.
Right. Because I don't think... Because, like, people are... Like, the stories of, like, oh, these guys didn't know how to handle a movie. I'm like... But they made 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, and the Lego Movie. Like, it's not like there's amateurs. Like, they've worked on films before. And
they know what they are in their right minds and know what they're doing.
Right, but at the same time, like, you know, maybe they were difficult to work with in that environment, and some directors clash with studio over what to do. I mean, most recently, Edgar Wright with Marvel. You know?
Yeah,
But at the same time, I'm the thing of, I would rather see a creatively ambitious film fail than a mediocre to okay studio-mandated one.
Yeah. But I would rather... There's a lot of movie adaptations coming out in the near future that I want to see a little bit more integrity and a little bit more creative vision that does justice by the fans.
Right.
The upcoming Star Wars movies, the upcoming Marvel movies, the upcoming video game movies, that's exactly what I want to see.
Exactly. I just want to... let's not squish creativity, and I feel like that's kind of where we're heading with all of the cinematic universes now.
Yeah, and maybe things might be...
Iron Man
could get on track.
Iron Man was a fluke. That movie was ad-libbed the entire time. That movie was ad-libbed. It was not scripted. It was ad-libbed.
You can't write what they said for the duration of that film.
Well, they changed the villain 3 times in production. And it was just like, that was a fluke. But it was a creative fluke. And it worked. And now everyone's trying to copy that. And I'm like, not everything needs to be a cinematic universe.
He's right. Not everything needs to be a cinematic universe. Some stuff can stand on its own.
Right.
I would actually be really glad if there was just some upcoming comic book movies that just stood in their own bubble.
Yeah.
Like, just were doing their own thing. Like, what's a good comic book character that's part of like an established universe that would be perfect in their own separate franchise of movies? Let me think.
Honestly, I would really like to see Iron Man in a non-MCU capacity. I think you could do that interestingly. Just focus on the technology and make all of the villains tech-based and lead into Armor Wars. Have that be the big kind of global thing, you know, play on the line from the first Iron Man of, you know, you tried to rid the world of weapons and you gave it its greatest one. You know.
Right. I would actually think it'd be really neat if if at some point in the future they could kind of consider, not all the way, but consider some of the Marvel Now stuff where we get some different people in these shoes as kind of taking up the mantles of these iconic characters to bring new life to, like, not reboots, but more of like to bring new life to these sort of franchises. kind of like, hey, we want to do something new and different with this character, but we don't want to reboot it.
Right.
Pass the torch to somebody else.
Oh, that would be cool.
Captain America is most likely going to die in Infinity War. He should have done Civil War. I keep saying that to this day.
Well, I mean, that's
pass that torch.
I'm sure that's why Chris Evans signed on to do one more, because they asked him, like, because he was supposed to be done after the first part of Infinity War, but he did sign to do the second half, and they asked him why. He said, "Well, I've done 6 movies. The movies have been consistently good. This is going to wrap up everything." So I've got no problem signing on to do one more.
Yeah, and I respect his decision to do such, but let's pass that torch along. And if it's not even if it's relating to death or not, like, just pass the torch, like these other characters' torches to other people. I would have no problem at some point in the future if they were able to, like, add the balls to, cover the death of Peter Parker and pass the torch to Miles Morales.
That would be cool.
Or if the fan theory is in the ballpark and Donald Glover is actually playing an older Miles, it'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
It would be very cool. It'd just be kind of nice to see a change there.
Oh,
I know Iron Man had
the girl who's Iron Man now in the comics.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know anything about her. I just know, like, they changed. Iron Man's a woman now. Oh, hey, that's cool. Which different.
I think is hilarious, because, like, people reacted like, the people who are just like, that ain't my Iron Man, or the people who, like, got upset when Thor became a woman. And
I was going to bring that up. Like, there was that time when they made Thor a woman. Like, hey, that's...
Well, people still threw a shit about that, but what I fucking hate, I'm like, okay, so you're upset that Thor is a woman. You're not upset at the fact that Thor in Norse mythology is actually a redhead. You're not upset. You didn't get upset when Thor became a frog.
Yeah.
You're
going to be explicitly upset because Thor now has curves in a vagina
and tits.
Like, that's not that was never a problem for me. When I heard of that, I thought, that's cool. I like that.
Well, the thing is, that's not going to last forever. Like, it's going to go back to Thor, and it's just going to be whatever.
It's comic books. Things always go back to normal, like any Saturday morning cartoon does. Whether it be
they will eventually get back.
Rebooting their universe, or Marvel writing themselves out of plot holes.
Well, fucking One More Day is the biggest fucking example of that. That piece of shit storyline. And I'm still upset about that. I'm still upset about that fucking storyline.
Well, there's comic books for you. They dick over their audience and then they...
That fucking story, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, because, before One More Day happened, our Brand New Day happened. Before Brand New Day happened, Peter had, there was this interesting stuff with mythology that JMS did, and the organic webbing, and building up this mythology, and Peter, like, was a teacher, and One More Day happens. He's in his early 20s now. He still lives with Aunt May. He's got organic web shooters again, and Harry's alive, and nobody knows he's Spider-Man. It brought it all back to status quo. We always end up going back to status quo.
Well, I mean, it was like that time they undid his marriage just to save.
Well, yeah, and they undid the marriage.
She was elderly. She's gonna die at some point. You might as well embrace that.
Yeah.
I'm just being realistic here. There's nothing. But yeah, comic books always go back to square one eventually. But I think the movies could do better if, hey, instead of going back to square one, why don't we really get dark and tragic by letting some characters die in Infinity War and let some people take up the mantles in later movies?
Right.
That would completely change the game of the current modern state. Make Iron Man a woman. Make Peter like Spider-Man a black guy.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. I'm completely embracing of these decisions because they're different spins. Hell, I got ecstatic after following the death of Wolverine. X-23 took up the mantle.
Yep.
It's like, holy crap. She's got, like, they took a really awesome, obscure character like her and made her Wolverine. That's awesome.
Yep.
Stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yep.
And I'd love to see that in the... I would love to see that in the
I would love
to... I would...
Yeah. I would love to see Bucky or Falcon take over Captain America.
Yeah, well, Bucky first, because that's canon.
Yes. Well,
Sorry,
Sam. Falcon's canon, too.
Well, I know Falcon's canon, too, but Bucky came first. And even Anthony Mackie acknowledged that in the interview. He said... Like, do you ever think you'll get the shield at one point? It's like, no, it's not my time. Bucky comes first.
Yep.
It's like he knew his shit. He knew what's up.
Yep.
And I love, and I hope.
I love those two in interviews together because they're fucking hilarious. Have you ever watched those two in interviews together?
I've seen clips. I've seen bits and pieces, and it's just those are the kind of people you want to work with because they just are. The celebrities that are absolute goofballs behind the scenes and aren't bullshitting you, those are the people that you want to work with.
Fucking yeah.
I would living in a post-Marvel movie world. Like, hey, Anthony, do you want to make a movie with us? You want to make some awesome movie with us, and then at the end of shooting, you can say your catchphrase.
Cut the check.
I would love to wrap up shooting and just wait for him to say his catchphrase at the end of it.
Well, no, it's not at the end of shooting. It's at the end of every shot.
yeah, you're right. That's just such a great catchphrase.
Cut the check. But all right, I think we're at an hour and 11 minutes. Do we have anything else to say? Because we were going to do that other thing tonight, right?
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh, for those of you that don't know, we're doing a commentary track, so look for that, please.
We're gonna do a commentary track on the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. So
better late than never, because Wonder Woman's still a big deal.
Right. So that was my fault. I've been going through stuff and with the film and personal, so that's totally my fault that we were supposed to do this like a week or two ago, and it just didn't happen. But we're gonna do it tonight. So I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I'm all burnt out.
All right. This has been Two Dorks, One Mic. I'm Kyle.
And I'm James.
See you in the next video.